Al, what's the key to doing these? I mean, you've got to look. What do you look for in a piece?
Generally, I look for a song that's upbeat, a song people really are familiar with. It has a very well-known bass line like My Sharona or I Love Rock and Roll. You know, something you hear, turn on the radio here for 2 seconds,
and you know
exactly what it is. Maybe something you're getting a little tired of, that also helps a lot.
Right. And is there a key to how you approach it?
I look for some kind of lyrical or musical hook, something I can take off on, find something that's very identifiable, and then make a little left turn somewhere.
What's next?
I thought I'd go back to the hotel, maybe take a shower. I don't know. It's a busy life, David. You know, I'm a busy guy.
Especially when you're in demand. Right?
Mic check. 1, 2. Greetings. Welcome back to the Blue Dreamer broadcast. This is another episode of Blue Speak. Today I've got on a special guest, Mr. Ray Marte of Moontooth, percussionist, producer extraordinaire. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for chopping it up with me.
Of course.
So I'm kind of doing this whole East Coast Long Island roundup. It's kind of crazy. I've already talked to Nick. I've talked to John. I talked to Andrew from Johnny Booth. And
nice.
I just talked to Sean the Butcher. So I'm like, fuck it, I might as well round it all out and try and get all the heads I can get. But it trips me up because you know, I've already told all the guys, and I was just talking to Sean last time, and you know, I caught on to the whole thing that you guys are all doing at the same time. I've been listening to you guys about 5 years, like probably 2018. You know, when Chroma came out, that's when I caught wind of you guys. And it just kind of went from there, and then I got into liquid metal too at the same time. So, and then they started playing your guys' shit on liquid metal and Johnny Booth, and so it all just kind of flowed and like culminated together. And you know, I'm just like, that's why I asked Nick the first. I was like, what is going on out there? Because I just love what you guys are doing. You know, like you guys especially. And then now, and like Johnny Booth has grown on me more, but now with their latest album, which you have fucking hand in, which it's so dope. It's such a fucking crazy album, you know? And it's like, wow. So then I'm like, what the fuck's next? You know, like, it's cool. It's so cool. You know, and then Sean and I were just talking about scenes, and it's like that whole scene thing is, there's a scene out there, you know? Has there always been a scene out there? Is it just that resonance of early scenes from the early fucking the late 80s, 90s, all that shit, you know what I mean? Like, so that's why I trip out on that, but I love what you guys are doing. So it's cool that it's all happening at the same time, and you guys just have your own sounds too in each band, and you know, so that's fucking cool, man. I really appreciate that. So
yeah, I mean, it's a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, and so where I usually start is, you know, how did you get started in music? What really, from what age, what like kicked it off for you? You know, did you play any instruments? I kind of have this idea in my head for some reason, and I'll share it, but I want to hear what you have to say about it first.
Well, I got to hear the idea.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But if you want to go first, like
no, you go first. You go first.
It was all. I mean, honestly, it was family. It was my mom, my dad. Mom played guitar, my dad played guitar, and then my sister, who's 5 years older than me. I'm 35 now, so she started playing guitar. And I just got obsessed with music pretty early on. Like there was always like, I don't know, Zeppelin and Stevie Ray Vaughan and like a bunch of other artists just playing in the house at all times.
Yeah.
So I kind of got a grasp on that. I mean, I don't remember like the aha moment kind of, but my first moment was, you know, I wanted to get into an instrument, and I was like, it would be stupid to play guitar right off the bat because there's already
everybody
three people doing it.
Yeah.
Everybody and their mother, including my mother and my father and my sister.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I got to play drums so like me and my sister can jam.
Yeah.
and I was at my uncle's house, my dad's brother, and he had this 1968 Ludwig drum set up in
Nice.
the attic.
Nice.
So I walked up there. I was like, "Wait, you have a drum set up there?" I think it was like 8, I think,
Nice.
in my memory. And I started banging around on it, and I was like, "Can I have this?" Like for a little while. I'm not gonna keep it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, of course, you can borrow it." And
Yeah.
then, within, I mean, time frame when I'm that old obviously is kind of hard to remember, but like within a little while,
Yeah.
my folks bought me, like a good starter drum set, and I started just going crazy and taking lessons from when I was about 8 or 9.
God, imagine if you had that Ludwig still, though, man. Fuck.
Well,
what a
funny
great
story.
kid! What a great kid to start on, man.
I do still have it.
Oh, there you go.
Years later, probably about maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I hit him up because I was like, "Hey, listen, like for my recording studio, Fall Recording Company, shameless plug, plug. What I say, pludge,
Pludge it all up, pludge it all over,
pludging it,
just pludge it."
But yeah, so I talked to him. It's like we're getting together for Thanksgiving or something, and I was like, "Hey, do you still have that drum kit?" And he said, "Yeah, of course, I still have it." He's just like, "If you don't want to borrow it," I was like, "I want the kit if you're willing to sell it." And he was like, I can't bring myself to like just charge you for it, so just take it.
Yeah.
And he was like, What is it, like $100? I was like, "No, it's going for like $1,500-$1,500 bucks." And he was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
But so that kit is still at my studio, and I take great care of it and clean it up as much as I can, and I've tracked many records with that kit, so
nice.
Very thankful for my Uncle Bob.
What kind of wood is it?
I honestly have no idea.
Old wood.
It's just old wood, old wooden chip wood.
There you go. Created from pirate ships or something.
Yes, Ludwig pirate ship.
That's
that was kind of the beginning. I
guess. So I had an idea. I don't know, for some reason I just catch these vibes, but I was like, did you play in school band or like marching band or anything?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay, see, I knew it. Ha.
I fucking skirted out of that real quick. I was like, I was, like in middle school, like, I'll tell you 2 things. I was first tryout for jazz band when I was in middle school. Like, there's one thing I remember where I kind of basically gave the middle finger to like organized scholastic music, where there was a part in the song, it was an audition for a jazz band, and it said ad lib, which means basically mess around, do your own thing, freestyle for a few bars. And I played the part exactly as best as I could. And then I got to this part, said ad lib. So I started, messing around, just kind of riffing. And the guy grabs my stick and said, "Excuse me, sir, what are you doing?" And I was just like, "Well, it says it in the piece, it says ad lib." But he was like, "You're not supposed to do that. You're never supposed to do that." And I was like, "Okay, so should I pick it up from the next bar that says to not ad lib?" And he was like, "Well, if you want." I was like, "Nah, I'm good." And I just walked out. And I was like, I don't know, 12 years old. So I was just kind of like,
funny.
I was super upset by that. I was just like, "Mom, this guy told me I wasn't good enough."
He told me not to ad lib when it clearly said ad lib.
Yeah, it's just like, I wish I still had that piece of music so I could read it. But I just kind of like got super turned off from that. But
that's funny.
Yeah, aside from that, I did marching band, and also I only lasted 1 year in 10th grade, like wearing the hat and the suit.
Yeah.
And I was too obsessed with just like playing full drum set by myself and getting started in bands where when it came to the audition, like the big thing is you have to audition for snare drum.
Yeah.
And I basically didn't prepare because I'm an idiot and like space cadet, and I just wanted to do my own thing. So I got stuck with the smallest bass drum, which is like, I don't know, freaking like 16 inches. It just goes boom, boom. Yeah. Not cool at all.
Yeah.
Cool one.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't do it anymore. After 1 year, it was not my thing. I just wanted to focus on just playing regular drum set. And
you also wanted to be like cool in a cool band and not a band nerd, right? So I mean that
Yeah,
helps too, you know.
because it was just, I like music. So I'm like, well, if I'm gonna be in high school, I might as well do something
Right.
musical. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it was definitely lame.
Well, it's funny because I could kind of tell, and the way I could tell, and that's why I kind of caught that vibe was because of the way you play. You play very straight back, just, chest up, just straightforward and very kind of precise, more precision drumming than hunched and like really like, I don't know.
Oh, you
That's
mean
just
like
what I know.
posture or
Yes,
just like
even
style?
posture,
Yeah.
like posture straight up. Like you're kind of a straight back, just like
I've
player.
been trying
Yeah.
to work on it. And, like, I'm sitting up straight right now, but you can't see it. But I've been trying to do it because my old drum teacher, Mark Edwards, from when I was a kid, he told me, he's like, play in front of a mirror. And he's like, it's not an ego thing. Never look at yourself like, where do I look cool? Where are my muscles?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just like, well, yeah, don't worry about it. You'll look fine later. It's all right.
Yeah.
That was like a chubby 13-year-old kid, but he was like, just watch your back, watch your shoulders, and just make sure your posture is good. But the first time I actually tried to do that, like, I noticed that it was all hunched over and my shoulders and my arms were doing weird things, and I just made a conscious effort to try and just keep my back straight as much. I mean, I still do it. Like every once in a while, you have to kind of like lean forward and dig into a drum set, but it is helpful.
Sure.
For sure.
I just after watching you play and I was kind of like, I wonder if he was in like marching band or something. That's just what it made me. I don't know. That's why I caught it. I was like, oh, okay, respect. Okay, I see that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, what was the first band you were in?
Technically, the first band I
like
was
even
in
the shittiest little band. I mean, because I know you and Nick go way back. So
yeah, basically it was me and Nick, my business partner at Westfall, Anthony.
Yeah,
it was me, Nick, Anthony, and my other buddy Tom Moran. So it was 3 guitar players, a bass player, and I was on drums, and my other friend at the time, Mike Starzyski. So it was called Incision, and it was basically just like all of our friends wanted to start a band, and then after that, it slowly started to kind of fork off into who wants to do heavier stuff, who wants to do kind of heavy stuff, but not that much. So Incision technically, but in Exemption is like my first real band. So it's me, Nick, and my buddy Tom Moran. So he was on bass and vocals, Nick on guitar, I'm on drums. And that took us a lot of places. We did some early on tours when we were like 19, 20, and did like East Coast stuff. And that was the first, I guess, like real band, if you want to put quotations on it or whatever. Yeah.
Right, kind of the beginning of the journey.
Yeah.
Like to where you are now, anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's super cool. So where did production start for you? Like at what stage did you really wanted to be production minded as far as recording and producing and stuff?
It started when I was 12, the same age, where around there, where me and my dad and my family used to go to Allman Brothers concerts, and he used to bring. Do you remember mini disc players?
Yeah.
Little mini disc players. So he used to bring that and a stereo mic to record Allman Brothers shows, like at the Beacon.
Damn, so you had it in from the get-go. You're one of those kids.
I'm very lucky.
Fuck yeah, that's so sick, dude. I love it.
But I used to use that, it wasn't crazy expensive. No. It was just one little MIDI player with like a stereo output. But he was like, oh, why don't you, record your band? And we were doing Green Day covers and like writing songs that basically sounded like the same shit as Green Day.
Right.
But so I'd put the mic in the middle of the room and basically just listen to how it sounded. We would play a song, and then it got to the point where like I started stacking amps. So if the microphone's in the middle of the room, the bass amp is right in front of it. You got a guitar amp on the left, guitar amp on the right, and then in the middle of that stack was the PA for the vocals.
Yeah.
So I could move the speakers and just try to find the best balance, because the drums were always loud, but so just with one stereo mic, I was kind of able to like move it around the room and find the best spot.
Fuck yeah.
And then after that,
Fucking Motown style.
Yeah.
That's
But
sick,
I
dude.
turned 13, 14, and my dad's seeing me do this stuff, and he's just like, I think we got to get you like a 16-track recorder,
Nice.
one of those digital ones. And like, I just took off after that.
Fuck
I
yeah.
started recording. I would just record my own drums, bass, guitars, and never vocals, really. I'm never like, I can do background vocals, but I've never really been like a lyricist or a poet or anything. I can
Okay.
hear melodies as a producer, but so basically that's where it kind of all started off, recording covers of Frantic in 2003, like after Saint Anger came out.
Nice.
I would do that and like Lamb of God songs and just do it from start to finish and try to play all this stuff. And
Yeah. But you started with analog gear, basically.
it was like, it was digital, but it was like as analog as you can get. Like you can't copy paste,
Right.
or if you did, you would have to go into this weird menu and say from 2.00076 to
Right.
3.75. I never ended up doing it. It was really annoying. So it's like, just play it the whole way through and hopefully it will be okay.
Right. Right.
It was a good way to learn.
And what age did you say? When did you start doing that? Or like,
I'd say, yeah, it was more like 14, 15
so you were
when
still
I
young.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
when I
I've
started.
always been into production too. Nothing, I was always the sound guy and any whatever with friends, and I still do. Even I just love audio production. I always have, and
Yeah, me too.
when I used to chop up samples and like make hip hop beats and record whatever I could. I had a Tascam 4-track to tape, and
Nice,
with
nice.
shitty Radio Shack mics, but just to get. I mean, the first time I ever recorded a demo was in the first band that I was in, and my friend's like, dude, my mom gave me this karaoke machine and it had dual deck, and he's like, can we do something with this? I was like, do you have a microphone? He's like, no. I was like, do you have headphones? He's like, yeah. I was like, let's use the headphones, and we recorded just through fucking headphones as the mic.
You
And
can
our
plug
first
it in.
demo
for preamp.
was
I love that.
microphone, and it was our first demo. We just put it. We're like, fuck it, dude. Like, it was the only. They're like, oh shit, this sounds good. I was like, no, it doesn't, but fuck it, it's okay. We'll roll with it.
Yeah, I mean, that was my early stuff. Was like, I mean, I'm so thankful for my parents.
Sure.
Just for starting me off. I mean, they got me, this amazing machine. To me, it was just like, this is the end of the world, of like, this is the best thing in the world. And I used that machine, until I was like 19 or so. And still after that, which to me, obviously from 14 to 19 feels like 20 years when you're young. But yeah, I used everything I could out of that. And like an SM57, like that was on everything.
Yeah.
It was, or whatever the cheaper microphones were. Like, it's one thing I kind of wanted to stress, I guess, for a lot of the people that are getting into recording. It's like, you can use the best of the best and still fail.
Yep.
You can use just the bare minimum and learn techniques, and you can get further with that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't buy something unless you're ready.
I would always say, like, trust your ears too. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that people kind of take for. They're like, no, I gotta buy this. I gotta buy this compressor. But it's like, at the same time, it's, and I've heard so many artists and so many producers say the same things. It's like, it's not what you're using, it's how you're using it. And a lot has to do with your ears. The person that's capturing the sound, what they hear. That's kind of what it all comes down to.
It all comes down to music and like what the song actually sounds like, which is first and foremost. And if you got a good song, if you have good tones going in, then you're gonna be all right.
I still have the same SM58 I've had when I bought it when I was like 16 years old. I still have it.
You still nice.
I still have it. Dense and funky foam inside. And anytime I use it, I'll use it for the podcast. I'm like, just don't smell the mic, dude.
It's just weird breaths. And
yeah, like whatever you do, don't smell the mic. Okay, just talk into it, but don't smell it. It's got like 30
I feel
years.
like I can smell it from here.
30 years of
I know that
funk.
smell.
I got to keep the funk in there, man. It keeps the grooves going. You know what I'm saying?
not to go off topic, but like I had before, like I bought my own vocal mic for like live Moontooth shows.
Yeah.
Because I, do background vocals on like I don't know, like 2 or 3 songs, like very sparingly, very spare stuff. But the first time I did it, I hit a microphone and somebody had ate like a Jolly Rancher or something, and my lips got stuck to the microphone.
Oh, that's
It just
nasty.
came off in this like really weird way, and like I try to get rid of it. Of course, what do? You like lick your lips, and it tasted so sweet, but also like beer and just breath and farts and whatever.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
Well, just playing clubs, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
use a club mic, and then after a while, you know, I'd heard people be like, "Buy your own mic and take your own mic." And
That's
I
the
was like,
best
okay.
investment you can make.
Yeah, for real. Any
Or
young
even just
bands out
your
there,
own
really pay attention. Buy your own fucking 58 and take it
Yeah.
with you everywhere you go. And yeah, see, I still have mine right here. Same one, OG. Like
Let me see
30,
it again.
30 years old.
Oh, it's got the proper
the
dent
dent.
on it. Nice.
It's kind of got an
Makes it sound better.
orange tinge to it now.
Orange. It's hooked up.
I could literally like buy a new ball and change it, but like, nah, it's got
No,
it's got character
it's the character. It's the vibe.
for sure. So okay, so how did you start getting into your studio? When did that start? Westfall Recordings.
Yes.
.com.
Yeah. Thanks for the plug.
Book now.
But yeah, it was after I graduated high school, when I was doing stuff in my parents' house, which once again,
Yeah.
thank God for them. But got to the point where I graduated high school and my mom said, "Hey, you going to school?" I was like, "I don't know. I kind of want to do this. I kind of want to record and produce." She's like, "Oh, do you have a job?" I was like, not yet." "Okay, well, you got to pick one. This is what's happening, so figure it out."
Wow.
And I remember sitting there, like where I'm from, Long Island, like Nassau Community College is kind of like the base of, where people go to get like a liberal arts degree or whatever.
Right.
So I did like a SRT program there, studio recording technology.
Nice.
Bunch of good people there, but I was still recording bands on the side, and the most that I got out of it, because they started real basic. It was like, here's a microphone cable, here's a guitar cable. Most I got out of it was like talking to my teacher, Kevin Kelly, at the time. I think he might be still there, or he might be on his way out. I don't really remember, but great dude. And I would show up 15, 20 minutes early. I would show him mixes. Like he would come to my car and check out things that I'm working on. And that gave me a lot of feedback of, what to improve on. But then after that year program, I was basically just jumping right into full studio work because my business partner, Anthony Lepardo, he was interning at the studio called Killingsworth.
Okay.
And then turned into Westfall shortly after that. There
Nice.
was another guy, Tomas, who used to play in a band called Diffuser, still does. But so basically, we started working together at 19 and immediately just jumped right into recording local bands.
Wow.
And it was a big learning curve for sure, because it's a lot different when you have more gear at your disposal. But that was the first thing that just made me realize like I could do this forever.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything else. Like, please just let me record bands forever.
So were you renting there and there was gear there, or how did it start? Like the actual studio and setup and everything? Like, did you take over something that was already there? Or is it like, how does it work?
So when we were that age, it was kind of like I would say it was just like a barbershop deal.
Okay.
Where like basically we give a percentage to the
boss.
boss. Yeah. And like we get to do whatever we want. Me and Anthony get to produce how we want to produce and engineer and mix. And then he says, "Cool, sounds great. Give me a cut." And then we're out. So we weren't responsible for rent or anything.
Right.
And then 12 years ago, 15 years ago, is when that guy that we were basically, when it was his studio, Santo, he moved out to Austin, Texas, and basically just like sold us the rest of the gear and all the equipment that he put in that place on top of all the stuff that we bought personally. So we made a deal
Nice.
basically.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and just like took out that loan and just started going. And that's when we were, about 15 years ago. So
Nice.
30. But yeah, it was
That's a good
really
deal,
intense
man.
for
That's
that.
a fucking good deal. That's a good way to get started with shit already there, you know. And what did you start buying? Like, what did it depend on? Was it always like metal and rock, or was it always heavy bands at first, or what would you record? Just, you know.
It definitely started as mostly like as metal and rock,
Okay,
just because me and Anthony love metal and
sure,
love
same,
anything heavy.
same.
And then, of course, it's like once we started getting, more projects in, we had the thought where like, are we going to be recording metal forever?
Right,
So we have to get new styles of music in.
branch out.
Yeah, but it definitely started that way, and I'll still have a love for that for the rest of my life, and I still do.
Yeah,
It's a lot of fun to mix, and it's
yeah,
a lot of fun to produce.
yeah, for sure. So gear was like Mesa Boogie, Marshall, you know, all the
But yeah, the gear,
amps.
gear changes over the years, but yeah, the initial set of gears was like
Standards.
API preamps,
Yeah,
SSL compressor,
yeah,
and just Pro Tools interface. Like the best preamps you could buy, and
right.
like some compressors. I mean, now we have way more, but on a tangent about gear, which we were talking about before,
Yeah,
like if I had more, like I could definitely make a better product.
yeah.
The first time I bought my first like compressor purchase was Purple Audio MC77, which is like a 1176 clone. And my thought was, if I buy this, I could run it through everything,
Yeah.
and everything else is going to sound amazing. And I'll finally get that product that I want, like the best records in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just my thought, when I
Yeah.
was 22.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
as you buy more gear, it's like, oh, I definitely need this. I need that. I need
Right.
this. I need that. And I guess a funny example of this, I have a Shadow Hills Equinox, which is a summing mixer where
Okay.
it's basically simulates a 32 channel recording console,
Okay.
but it's in a box.
Yeah.
And there's no faders and whatnot. So it's the sound of analog, but you don't have to deal with the faders and recall.
Yeah.
And as soon as I bought that, in my head, I was like, oh, now I can mix like
Right.
the best mixing engineers in the world. And it was very humbling when I got that, because in my head, I thought the only thing that's holding me back is my gear. And then now, years after that, that was like 2016 when I got, or 2015 when we got that. And now, like a lot of the times, I'll make better mixes just all digital.
Yeah.
Like no analog gear, maybe on the way in with drums and stuff, but it's your ears, it's your experience.
Yeah.
That's really like, you can give somebody, $1 million studio with the SSL and
Yeah.
walls of gear, and it's gonna sound like they mixed it. It's not gonna sound like the gear.
Yeah. Well, I mean, plugins have just gotten so fucking crazy. Like the digital
yeah,
world has just
great.
expanded things, you know. And like I said, I've always been into production. I'm nowhere near pro, completely novice, but I've always paid attention. Like I was one of the first of my friends in our bands and music and stuff that bought a computer and then started doing shit on a computer. You know, I put together a computer for like $200 and just like got a sound card, and then I could run my mixer into a sound card and record, and then interfaces started coming at some, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
it's very from that point, from like the 90s and the early 2000s. And so I would just learn as I go, but I learned a lot from hip hop, from DJ sampling, and I didn't necessarily pay attention to more of the rock artists and I mean the rock producers and stuff, I was more turned on by sampling and stuff, and that's kind of how I learned too. But to me, it was always just audio, how you hear it in your, my thing now is always still, it's like how you hear it in the headphones. And then I go into the car and how it pans out in the car. And I've done that forever. So anything that I do myself, that's how I capture everything, because that's what I'm using, I want it to sound a certain way in my car. So I go from headphones to car, and that's it. And it's worked. I mean, I love that bass line. You have to have a bass line and then you go from there, the jump off,
Yeah,
so,
I mean, that's the perfect thing. It's whatever you got, just use it.
Right.
Like if you have headphones that you're used to, use those and just get to learn them. And then if you can get studio monitors, even ones that are relatively cheap, I guess, like a couple $100 or whatever, get them used, set them up nice and get used to them. That's the best tool as long as you're used to them. And it's like, I could say, like, if I was to restart my studio, the first thing I would buy is like the best interface I can afford and the best speakers I could afford.
Yeah.
And then set them up the best way you can, like analyze the room and, get it set up just right. And then like analog gear can come after that. That's like that's the plus.
Right.
Because if what you're hearing is not accurate, then you're screwed, basically. You're not screwed, but
right.
It's like a longer learning.
Right. And there's a lot that goes into production. Way more than people actually realize, I think, and that's just something I've learned over the years trying. Like, I have the hardest time capturing vocals. Like, and I'm a vocalist and I have the hardest time with it. Like, that's always been my sore spot in any kind of producing.
When you say capturing vocals, do you mean?
I mean, mixing vocals, like actually, cleaning them up and fitting them in the mix, and then like.
Yeah, I mean, well, two things. Well, you're already basically talking. Well, you're talking through an SM7.
Yeah.
So I track all John's vocals from Ubuntu through an SM7. So already there. And then I do use hardware on the way in. I use that 1176 clone, the purple. But even if I didn't have that, basically advice that I've got from other engineers and producers to capture a song, especially for vocals, don't solo them ever. Don't solo and listen, because if you solo and listen to a vocal, it's going to sound too bright or too distorted or too weird. And then you'll end up affecting that, and then you put it back in the mix, and it sounds weird.
Yeah.
So just never, at least for me, try to not do that. But it's for John's voice, for an instance, basically it's a lot of limiting. It's compression on the way in, and then just not to get nerdy, but like a wave L1.
I'm taking notes. Go ahead.
Yeah, like Waves L1, like their limiter.
Yeah.
Hit that again. Then saturation with like a Sound Toys decapitator. And then either before or after that, de-essing with a Waves C6, just a multi-band compressor.
Yeah.
6K, bump it down, top end, bump it down after that. Sometimes there's another de-esser and another limiter after that. It's mostly a lot of what I do mixing wise is saturation and limiting.
Yeah.
Not a lot of like raw compression. But.
Waves is literally the best digital shit you can get out there for production right now, I would say, right? You just get the subscription and then you're on, you can get whatever the fuck you want, right? Because I was working. I was working with a friend of mine. He used to be the drummer in the last band I was in. And he does his own production. He's got a studio and he does production. And after our band stopped playing, I started doing my own like solo project stuff, and I just recording demos. I kind of got tired of trying to make anything big production wise, like, completed. I just wanted to capture demos. And I would send them to him, and I was like, oh, what do you think? He's like, oh, dude, I like it. I was like, all right, cool. Like, can we record? And he's like, yeah. And I sent him the stuff. I went to record with him, and I just did the guitars and the vocals, and he did the drums and the bass. Mm-hmm. And he just made when I heard the finished thing, I was like, oh, and I was like, it sounded so great. But he swears he just loves waves, and he was using all the same, so he knows he's got the production mind, and I think it does take a certain mentality. It's not anybody can do it. Trust me, I've tried, and I don't think I have the patience sometimes, or I'm easily discouraged or something. But I'm more of an idea guy as far as like songwriting and
I mean, that's a producer's ear right there. I mean, like what you're saying is what you want to hear,
right?
And then, I mean, old school shit was like a producer says, hey, I want these drums to sound like it's exploding in a cave and whatever. And then you got 5 engineers running around like, how are we supposed to do this? I don't know.
Right.
And like, some producers are very disconnected to the audio part of it, the engineering part of it rather. But, of now modern day stuff, most people are producer, engineer, mastering. Like,
yeah. Well, it trips me out how many albums are coming out now with all programmed drums. And they sound good, but, I'm a fan of the old school shit. I mean, it sounds good, but...
Yeah, I mean, trust me, as a drummer, it's frustrating, but I do understand it because if people are asking me like, oh, I want to get some good drum sounds in my house. And I'm like, all right, well, you could probably get, I don't know, thousands of dollars worth of gear and microphones and like good room and mic placement and this and that. Either that or just record it at a studio. Or if you want to use programmed drums, you have to get really good at doing MIDI velocity programming.
Exactly.
Doing really right. I mean, like a lot of guitar players that have recorded that have programmed drums, like they don't understand drums as a drummer. So it ends up being like 2 cymbals and a snare and 2 toms at the same time because I think it sounds cool, but you need 8 arms for that. But I mean, MIDI drums are a great tool. I mean, I've been using a lot of times. I'm using Get Good drums. One Kit Wonder Metal, which I feel like a lot of people use, or Easy Drummer stuff. And I use it for demos for sure. Like at my apartment where I'm at now, I do a lot of demos here too. I have KRK 5-inch monitors. Like I have this whole studio that I could use, but a lot of times I just want to get out of the studio and just kind of do my own thing. But
and that's what I'm saying. I mean, for demoing and stuff, it's cool, but for full productions, like on the way out, like it's all, and they're using programmed drums the whole album. It's like, okay, but that's where we are now. That's the thing too, is I've seen the evolution of production the whole way through. You know what I mean? I got in on the tail end of analog when digital started coming out, and now it's just like oversaturation. I mean, if you know how to use a tool, it's good for you. That's all, and that's any tool for any person that knows how to use a tool, But there's just so much shit out there. That's what's crazy. And it's like, man, I'm just like, man, I'm fucking old because now all this shit's on computer. But I was right there the whole time, seeing all of it, and I dug into it here and there, like, and at this point now, I'm like, just what we're doing now. Like, I just use an iPad. I've got that small 4-track Zoom little pod track, and my phone for the and it's like the simpler the better, And it's like I'm trying to make it sound as good as possible with as little as possible. Because
no, I mean you just said it perfectly. Sorry if I cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
You just said it perfectly because a lot of times what I want to do is I want to get creative as fast as possible.
Exactly.
And that's a huge tool that we have as like modern engineers and producers. You can literally just download like the same stuff that I use as a producer and you can get going fast. I would tell people not to get everything, like pick a small batch of plugins or something, but you can get going fast. And like I'll use the same plugin over and over and over again just because if I have a move that I want to make in a mix or something, it's the guitar is too dull. Pull up EQ, SSL EQ, whatever, make it brighter, done, and forget about it. But if you go through like 16 different plugins and try each one,
Yeah.
at least not when you're mixing, you could do that beforehand, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, and experience also has a lot to lend to what comes out on the back. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I just appreciate production. I appreciate all aspects of music, you know, and I've tried to at least dip my toes into something of any part of anything for whatever reason, because I love all of it, you know, and I wouldn't say I'm the best producer, but I got some good ears. I've got good ears for shit, you know? So I've been a DJ. I've spun records. I've recorded bands. I've done a little bit of everything just because I appreciate it, you know? So let's talk about your drums, man.
oh boy.
Yeah. What are you playing right now?
Right now, it's still the same kit that I've been playing live. It's a Precision Drum Company acrylic kit.
Okay.
24-inch bass drum by Scene, and then 12 and 16 toms. It's very basic, but I love the way it sounds, and I might change it up at some point, but it just works really well.
Nice.
I love the way it sounds.
If it ain't broke, right?
Yeah, exactly. And Cymbals is Sabian, all Sabian. They've been very kind to endorse me.
Fuck yeah.
And then sticks are Meinl sticks. Same thing. When I first got the Meinl sticks, when they first reached out, they were like, "Hey, we're going to send you a bunch of 5B sticks. Like, let us know what you think." And I was kind of like, "Oh, I don't even know Meinl made sticks. Like, what's going on here?" And because I've been approached by like a few other like stick companies, and like I really wasn't, I just couldn't get behind it.
Okay.
And then, you know, when you're on, like, if you're gigging or if you're just practicing, you have all your sticks in a bundle.
Yeah.
And like,
You just grab whatever.
Just grab whatever.
Yeah.
And that was my main thing. Like, when I got the sticks in from Meinl, I marked them like, all right, cool. So here's 5 pairs. I marked them like, you know, green, yellow, whatever, and marked each pair. And then I just mixed them all up and started grabbing sticks. And they were all the same weight, the same feel. Yeah. Because I did have that problem with the Vic Firth where I wasn't endorsed by them or anything, but I was playing Vic Firth previously where you would get a heavy pair that's matched and nice, and then you would buy 4 or 5 more or 10 more pairs, and you would get like a really light pair. So if you mix them together, you would end up like a tree trunk on your left hand and a feather on your right hand. Yeah. Like, it was a pretty big difference, which is why I wanted to move away from just buying Vic Firth stuff. Yeah. But when I got the Meinl stuff, mixed them up, everything was perfect. I called the guy like within an hour. I was just like, yeah, absolutely, we're good. I was like, I'll just buy these. Like, well, what do you want to do? Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I'll send you a few pairs. Don't worry about it. They've been very, very nice.
That's cool, man.
But
so I just have a question. I don't know, for some reason, and I don't mean to be offensive, and I'm not trying to be offensive or anything, but I feel like
go for it.
Yeah. I feel like drums is kind of second. Is production first? Like, is it that you're so used to drumming? Because you're a sick ass drummer. You're very like
Thank you.
Yeah, no, and I mean that. But I want to talk. And your production is, you know, you're doing great things. You really are, and I hear all of it. And that's why, like, I'm telling you, even up to the new Johnny Booth, I'm like, fuck, dude, Ray's is fucking killing. Like, you're killing. I love it, dude. But then when I watch you play and I hear Moontooth, I'm like, fuck, dude, like, you're so dope, dude. You're so technical, but like clean and just fucking straightforward, and your grooves are just, oh man, you're just, I'm telling you, bro, like I love what you're doing, you know, I really, really do. And I really appreciate it. Like, I get it, you know, because I love bands like Pantera and fucking, like, I love Vinnie Paul and I love fucking, you know, Danny Carey and like, I hear all that shit in you too, you know, like, you have your own sound and your own way of doing things, you know, and that's what I'm saying when I pay attention to production too. Like, you know, I hear bands do recordings, and even if I really like the band, if I hear a shitty recording, I'm just like, like it turns me off. I'm like,
bummer.
fuck, I don't listen to this album because I don't like the way it's. I just, and that's just me. That's just my ears. That's the way I catch shit, And
That's most people. I mean, that's people that don't know music and then don't know anything about production. If they hear something that sounds good, they don't know why it sounds good,
right,
but they want to listen to it. They don't know why.
right,
And like people like us that are getting into production, like we know why records sound good
right.
on an engineering perspective and production. But as far, the question you asked, like saying is like, is it production first or drumming
Yeah.
first? Like, I'll say that I mix and produce and engineer more than I play drums.
Sure.
Unfortunately,
Sure.
I mean, a lot of times, like, I do play drums on people's records pretty often, but
Okay.
it's sucks to say, but it's like if I'm home and we're not touring and not doing anything, like I'm working on music, like I'll playing guitar and writing songs on guitar for
Yeah.
Ubuntu, but that's what my normal day-to-day job is.
Yeah.
If I could just play drums every day, 8 hours a day,
Yeah.
I'd be a monster.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. And that's what I mean. Like, I'm not trying to be offensive. Like, you play
it's not
guitar,
offensive
you
at all.
write songs, you create ideas, you create structures, you create. That's and that's what I meant. That's what I'm saying like that. But at the same time, when you play drums, you're playing shit that I don't hear anybody else playing. So it's the ideas. It
means a lot.
It's what goes with this and this and this, and then you are the one that can actually capture all the shit and make it sound a certain fuck. That's crazy. Like that's I don't know a lot of people that can really do that, the way you're doing it right now, So I get it, and I respect that a lot, and so that's and that's all, and that's who am I? But still, I'm just saying that's fucking.
No, I mean it's cool. It always means a lot. Yeah, it always means a lot. Like, it's.
That's why I couldn't wait to fucking meet you guys when you actually finally came out to San Diego in fucking October. I was like geeking out. I was like, oh shit. They're like, oh, hang out. I was like, really? Okay. It's just, and not to be like a leech or anything, but it was just like, fuck, like I got questions, So now even to talk to you guys, it's cool because these are genuine questions. Like,
I always ask, like, whenever. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I just love to talk to people about music because, like, I mean, there's, especially with like production stuff and like mixing and engineering, like there's only like a small handful of people that I can talk to because I don't know, there's this fucking stigma with producing and engineering where like people are very competitive.
Sure.
Because I'd love to talk to other, mixing engineers, but I just feel like sometimes people are very standoffish about it, where it's just like, all right, well, maybe we're a competitor and I don't really want to share my secrets and blah,
exactly.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
okay.
It's like whatever.
Okay, whatever.
Because there's all this stuff available on YouTube and on social media where I could take like Chris Lord Alge, like one of the most famous mixing engineers of all time. I could take his setup, like all the gear that he uses.
Yeah.
And it's not going to sound like his mix. It's just like, I don't care what secrets he gives away. It's his ear. It's just whatever that person wants to do.
Right. It is the ears, and that I think that's something that people don't get. It's the individual. It's not always what they're using. It's how they use them because of what they hear, and they're like, oh shit, okay, and then ideas, and you just kind of formulate from there, and then you create your own thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's always whatever gear you got, just use.
So right now, you're recording? How many artists are you recording right now? Like, I mean, you sent me a song. I mean, as far as not heavy, like, do you have you don't have a roster? You kind of, I mean, you're open, right? Can people can just come and pay for sessions and stuff?
Actually, I should have sent you my Spotify playlist, but just for the entire, like, we have like a Westfall playlist. But one of the songs that I sent you was In Rose.
Okay.
The band In Rose, called Therapy.
Yes, I'll play that right now. We'll get to the music in a bit, but we'll play it. I just want, to get ideas of, because I've heard, and there was a female vocalist too that was, what was her name? Like Angela something, or I can't remember. I just see your postings from Westfall of like, it was like guitar and vocal, something kind of really mellow.
Yeah, it might have been...
I can't remember.
I'm not sure exactly what the post was, but I mean, we're definitely posting a lot about Gabby, who is in Rose.
Okay.
Rose. So it might have been her. She's got, maybe the 6 saxophone player.
But is it like strictly Westfall, or is it just people that are you're staying connected with that come and you do their production? Or
Oh, you mean like the social media stuff, or?
No, I mean just in general, because like you showed me this artist in Enrose. Is this just someone that comes to record with you and you're pushing them through social media? Like,
oh, okay, yeah. I mean,
basically,
yeah. So this girl Gabby, we've been working with her for a while. Her band's called Enrose, and between me and Anthony, we've been producing her music for a few years now.
Okay.
And it's basically kind of like it's not necessarily co-writing, but kind of.
Yeah.
More of just like structuring music and just building songs from the ground up. And it's all, pop music production, which is a lot of what Anthony does. He'll find artists, like a good singer that sounds great.
Yeah.
And then bring him to the studio, and then he'll write a song from the ground up with that artist
around their voice. And
for
sure.
So for Gabby, she comes in with a lot of ideas, and basically the song is mostly just fleshed out already. But we do our own producer thing and change some structure here and there, and just add good parts.
Yeah, and I love that, because I've worked with, especially female artists, like I said, when I would do hip hop, kind of, I'll make beats and stuff, and then
same.
Work with female artists, and I love that too. It doesn't always have to be heavy. It doesn't, but it's fun to get in and be like, okay, here's the beat, sing, and then kind of, let's try this, let's, and that's.
I mean, that's what we're about, really.
Cool.
It's like we do a lot of heavy shit, but it's basically a mixture of like super heavy stuff and very pop oriented songwriting.
That's cool.
Where it's mostly songwriting on that end, and just writing, like if somebody comes in, they say, hey, I want like an acoustic song to sound like Justin Bieber when he was 16 years old. Sure. Gotcha.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Then
whatever else after that.
And that's fun. That's a lot of fun,
That's the most fun.
Exactly. I get that. All right, so let's get into the music. So I always ask, any artist I talk to, give me 3 songs that, from when you first started, that's influenced you midway, and then, now kind of what's on your playlist now that really stands out. And, I give you 2 for the first one. You gave me 2. I'm only going to play 1, but you could shout the other one. I didn't play the Weird Al one, but that's cool.
It was like 2. All right. I'll just real quick. It was 2 influential songs when I was a kid.
Yeah.
One was guitar based, and one was just, I just love comedy.
Yeah. Me too. Same. And I love Weird Al. I fucking love that guy so much, dude.
Yeah.
So I get it. I would have played it, but I'm like,
that's fine. It's Slayer. Won't give it away.
I gotta play the hit. Yeah, I gotta play the hit. All right. So Ray picked Angel of Death. Why not? So, you know, every metalhead and their mother knows that song. But Blasphemous, I was never a Slayer fan. I never got into Slayer. Ever.
It was all about that breakdown in the middle of the song. That's what killed me on Slayer.
Is it coming?
I believe in about. Maybe it's another
We'll
verse.
take it. Let's go.
Yeah. This one. Little 3 seconds. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, you know, and I've always been aware of them, of course, obviously. You can't be into heavy music and not know who the fuck motherfucking Slayer is. I get that. But I just...
sorry, go ahead.
No. I just caught on, like, I got into heavy music through, like, Nirvana. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't grow up with metal or anything or have, you know, when I got into my first band with one of my really good friends that I'm still friends with, he showed me heavy music. He showed me Slayer. He showed me Machine Head. He showed me, you know, like Clutch and, you know, all this stuff. And I was just like, what is this? I was like, okay, fuck. Now I got, you know, and then we got into Korn and Deftones and,
of course,
you know, but I gravitated towards what I gravitated towards, you know, and Slayer was just like, eh. But then Pantera came and I was like, oh, okay. Oh, I like that, you know, and that break reminded me of fucking Pantera. Right? I was like, oh, I could hear fucking Dimebag doing that shit right there. So I get that too, you know. It's just interesting. That's all, you know.
I just got a soft spot just because when I was like in that age of 13, 14, I was just trying to like work on my right hand playing guitar.
Yeah.
And like Slayer and Pantera riffs were all about it.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. What do you think about Kerry King's new
shit? I was literally just listening to that a few hours ago.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Be honest.
It sounds like Slayer. It sounds like regurgitated Slayer riffs, sure. I would say. Sure. But also, do you know who the vocalist is? I thought it was that dude that does those YouTube covers when I first saw. I just saw the video, the trailer, the little clip, and that's all I saw. I was like, is that fool with the mustache? Like that does those crazy vocal covers? Yeah, my main takeaway was like vocals sound fucking sick, just very angry and cool. And like otherwise, like guitar playing sounds like the shit that I heard when I was 12 years old.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds sick.
You can't be mad. Right. You can't be mad, you know, like when people bitch about shit. Like I went to go see Pantera come play when they came and played here a couple months ago.
Oh, you did? You saw it?
Yeah. And it was when they first kicked off the whole, you know, reunion with a, you know, tribute, whatever. And people are just fucking losing their minds. And I'm like, I never got to see them in the 90s or 2000s. So I'm like, I'm going to go fucking watch Pantera. And it was sick as fuck, dude. Phil sounded so fucking good.
It was good? Yeah.
It was beautiful. And fucking Charlie Benanti is just fucking on point. They were sick as fuck. Like Zakk Wylde was the only one that was a little off, but like 9.95 out of 10. You know what I mean? So it was fine. It was fucking fine, dude. And the sickest part for me was there was like these two 20-year-old kids fucking rocking out, singing all the words, and I'm like, fuck, that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? Like, fuck all the noise, fuck all the bullshit. That's dope, dude. Like, and it sounded great. It was like Pantera's greatest hits show, but I got to hear the songs I wanted to hear. You know, I was like, fuck. So why are people gonna bitch? Like, what is wrong with you? You know, like I got to see Pantera finally. Fuck, you know. It wasn't Dimebag, but I still got to see the shit. You know.
Yeah, I wish I saw it. Like, there was a few shows that was always at a weird time where I had something else going on, or I forgot to get tickets, and then they're like $1,000 or something in New York. But
yeah, I went by myself because I was like, I don't want anybody to fuck up my night.
Go for
I'm
it.
gonna be there all night as long as I want to be there. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? It's like I want somebody to be like, I'm ready to go. I'll be like, bro, shut up. And even Lamb of God was sick as fuck, dude. They were so dope, and I'd never seen them before either.
Yeah, I was gonna say anybody that feels weird about going to the show by themselves just needs a second look at life.
For real, yeah. Be grateful. Be grateful when you get to go.
Just
shows
go.
like, just go.
You don't have to lead on friends. Just go.
All right. Next, you pick fucking Blood and Thunder. Fucking Mastodon.
Yeah, it's like pretty basic for Mastodon, but that was definitely a big deal for me when it came out. And
I asked why I asked, and there's reasons behind it.
Yeah.
Let's play the motherfucker.
I love watching people air drums with this song because their arms are always flailing around. They can never quite get it.
Dude, Brondale is a bad motherfucker, man.
Absolutely. Snare fills for days.
Fills on fills on fills.
Blew my mind when I first heard that.
I didn't even get into Mastodon until The Hunter.
Hunter, really?
Yeah.
Damn,
boy! I'm telling you, I'm late to all this shit, bro. Like,
yeah, that's fine. The Hunter was like the first record for me and Nick where it was like, is this shit? This is not the same.
Yeah, what do they got a little. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it was like a little like, oh, this is not the same Mastodon that we know.
Right.
And then after like a month or so, I was like, all right, well, what are they going to do the same record over and over again?
Right.
Like, I respect what they did. They're artists. I love it.
Yeah. And my favorite album is, what's that one?
Is it Crack the Sky?
No. No, I'm more newer. Not the last one they did, but oh my God, what is it called? I want to call it the Sultan. What is it called?
Sultan's Sand? Well, that's a song off.
No, Jesus, why can't I think of it? Something of Sand. Oh my God, I need to
Emperor of
Sand. Yes, Jesus.
Yeah,
that album. I love that
It's
album.
great.
It just hits all the right feels for me, and like to me, that's like a good just front to back album. I love that.
It's
album.
good. Yeah, it's great.
I mean, like the last one that they did, but it's kind of like Emperor Sand Part 2. Like, you know, just yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not the biggest man. I mean, I'm a bigger fan now, but I didn't catch on till late. But Emperor Sand, I love that. And even just the production in it, like, it's so good, man.
Yeah, it's definitely, their production got better as the years went on.
Yeah, and just Bron, the way he sings, and like, oh my God, dude, I love that, the way he sings and his voice. And then when, you know, him and Troy just fucking mesh, and they're a great band because everybody plays their part, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember hearing like an old story when they first went on tour where they lost their vocalist and they just had to, like, Troy just had to like growl and do something as a vocalist.
Yeah.
So that's why I like a lot of the earlier stuff was just like it's like kind of hard to understand the lyrics, but some of it was not lyrics.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time they did the releases, they were kind of finalized,
and that's why I kind of appreciate where I caught them, because they were more refined and more, you know what I mean? Like, I caught onto them at a more progressive point, you know, like
definitely more refined.
So I think that made me appreciate them more, to where if I would have heard that earlier stuff, I would have been like, nah, it's just not my style. That's all, you know? And
yeah, I know. It's definitely weird, and it's a lot to take in at first, for sure. I was like, as a kid, just listening to guitar stuff. So
yeah, for sure,
and drum stuff. So it's like the vocals were like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, and Brent Hines is just a bad motherfucker, dude. I fucking love that guy so much. He's actually led me towards like great like country artists, and just watch it, dude. I have a funny Mastodon story. So Emperor San, they were touring and they came out to San Diego. And I took my nephew. I was like, dude, Mastodon's coming. You want to go see them? He's like, yeah, let's go. I was like, all right, cool. And he came to my house, and it's kind of embarrassing.
What's going on here? Why are you laughing?
So he came to my house, right? And I was like, dude, like, let's pregame. Let's pregame before we go to fucking Mastodon. He's like, all right, cool. And so we pregame.
Wait, how old is your nephew?
He was 22, 23.
Oh, so he's
no. It's not like, no, it wasn't like that, but it was
he still doesn't know shit yet, but
no, but he showed me a lot of like newer artists. He's very musically inclined, and so he'll show me. I'll ask him once in a while, I'll be like, what's going on out there, dude? Like, you know, show me some shit I haven't heard, and he'll show me some shit. He's super fucking cool.
Nice.
Yeah. He's a good egg. And so I was like, let's pregame. He's like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. And then we went out there. We were already like kind of buzzing, like when we were standing out front waiting to get inside. And fucking Mastodon's bus is right there. And then Brent comes out. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, I'm going to go fucking talk to this fool. He's like, bro. I was like, I don't give a fuck. He's right there. I got to go fucking talk to him. And it was him and like two other dudes. I don't know if they were road crew or dudes from the other. I don't know. But I was just like, I gotta go down. Now's the time. And I was like already like I was already on a good one, dude. And I was just like, fuck it. So I just kind of like, they were just standing there smoking cigarettes, like hanging out. And I was like, just kind of like, doop, like scoot. And like homeboy I think he had a little drone, like one of those little mini drones, and like in his hand. He was like, dude, check this shit out. And he was like, he like flipped it over and he was like, oh, what's that right there? I was like, I think that's the clitoris. And they were like, oh, God. And they looked at me and they were just like, who the fuck are you? I was like, Brent, can I take a picture with you? Like, dude, it was so bad, dude. Like,
it's like not the experience that you wanted in your mind.
Dude, but I took a shot, man. I tried to be funny and fucking hang out, dude, for like 5 minutes. And it was horrible. But at least I got a picture. Not one of my proudest moments, but hey, fuck it. At least I tried, dude.
That's usually what happens. It just ends up being like some tired musician, like, hey, what's going on? How you doing? I haven't slept in 5 days.
Exactly. But that's my awkward fucking, hey, you know, whatever. I own my shit, bro.
That's
I don't
a great story.
I don't care, dude. I still got the picture somewhere.
Exactly.
I got the picture.
That's what's up.
But it's so funny. Even in the picture, he looks annoyed, dude. He's just like, get this motherfucker away from me.
Oh, dude, you gotta send me that picture. I'd love to see it.
Oh, dude, it's so funny. All right, let's get to the next one. So, Car Bomb. Jesus, these guys. Yeah, when I got into them, about the same time as you guys too. When I think Meta had just come out around the same time too.
Yeah, 2016 was Meta.
Yeah, so I heard it. I just caught it in the same, and I was just, at first I would listen to it and I'm like, I don't get this.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, you know, it's super crazy. And now like I've kind of been in contact with Greg here and there. I'm just like, dude, like I want to talk to him next. Like he's like, we're working on some new shit. He's like, maybe when we drop the album, I'll hit you up. I was like, please, like, I think he's just one of the greatest guitarists like ever. So Car Bomb, Scattered Sprites, which is actually one of my favorites.
That was a very long pee.
So, have you guys ever played with these guys?
Yeah, we played with Car Bomb in the early days of Moontooth. It was at oh geez, I'm forgetting the name. Danny's place. Even Flow. It was a bar in Bayshore. So it was Car Bomb, us, and Cryptodira.
Nice. And I fucking love Cryptodira too. Oh, I love
awesome,
so
awesome music, awesome dudes. But yeah, it was the three of us. I remember me and the drummer from Cryptodira, Matt, just like watching Elliot play drums. And it was one of those shows where it was just random night. Nobody was there. And, relatively nobody there. You know, like 30 people or something. It was like the bands and their girlfriends and whoever else. And like all of us just had great sets. And it was just an awesome music night. But just watching Elliot play drums he's just on another level.
Yeah. All of them, man, because... And that's what would mess me up when I was listening to them. I was like, what is the time? And then it's like, everything like slurs. And it's like, how do you do that live? And I've seen their live videos and it's like, no clicks. They don't play to clicks. They don't.
Yeah, I was going to say,
No.
He does not track to a click.
That's amazing. That's some jazz shit right there, bro. That's crazy.
At this point, it's fucked up.
But it's beautiful. It's like the most beautiful shit. And then when I hear Greg's like electronic shit, I'm like, okay, his brain is fucking crazy. He's got crazy brains.
Yeah, it's just the sounds that he comes up with on guitar. It's just
Yeah.
Nasty. It's just that's what drew me to this song because I've never heard
Yeah.
a guitar sound like that in my life up until this song.
Yeah, and I saw where he did a demo at NAMM. I think it was the first year after COVID, like 2020. I don't know, but he did a demo with Fortin, and it just watching him work his pedals and shit, and I was like, this fucking guy, like, oh, it's so sick. Like him and Stephen Brody from fucking Mutoid Man.
Oh,
They're the same,
yeah,
and they were using the same fucking that pitch shifting for pedal, and I was just like, "You motherfuckers!" Like it's so I love trickery when I catch it. You know, I'm a big fan of pedal trickery and just effect trickery in general. You know, it's so cool.
Yeah, I love Mutoid Man. We played only one show with them, but it was at St. Vitus in Brooklyn. I think it was like 2017, but.
Yeah.
Steve Brodsky's awesome guy, and
then when he got into Quicksand, I was like, "What?" Like when they announced it, I was like, "Oh, dude, perfect guy to fucking have in fucking Quicksand, dude." Like,
yeah, of course,
great combo.
Quicksand shit sounds great.
All right, so I asked you to pick the Moontooth song. You picked Ebb and Flow off Goons. Let's go.
Oh, it's good.
It's coming.
That was just the beginning of Moontooth, really.
Okay. So you recorded this one as well, right? This was all you?
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying, bro. And
forever ago, but...
So what trips me out is with Moontooth, and then after talking to to John and to Nick, like, well, especially Nick, but he, it's just the fact that you write for this band and then you record the band and then it sounds the way it fucking sounds. That shit blows my mind. Like, because it just, like, I'm like, if somebody be like, oh, they suck, I would choke them. I'd be like, no, you don't understand what the fuck is going on here. Like, and that's just the nerd. That's the music nerd in me. But I get it. It's so amazing, And then John's progression too, And I had asked Nick first. I was kind of like, when did John come into play? And then like, I was like, when I first heard his voice, and it was off Chroma. I didn't hear this one after. I heard this after Chroma, and then I found this one,
Yeah.
And I was like, John just hits me like an R&B singer, and he's like, funny thing. And then I talked to John, and he's like, funny thing. And I was like, fuck. So I'm like, you guys captured all of my favorite sounds and then made a fucking rock band out of it. And that's why it's like, I geek out so hard but I get it, you know, like
Trying to do some dumb shit that like is not supposed to be done, I guess. At least that's
exactly.
what we thought. It was just like, all right, we got a blues singer,
Yeah.
we got like a bunch of metal people, and then Vin's like, he's more like alternative and like he loves Death Cab, and which I do love Death Cab too.
Sure.
That's a spot for them, but like just the four of us together, like just make this weirdo stuff.
Yeah. Maybe it was meant for me. I don't know. Like, cause I'm like, God damn, like, wow.
It's definitely been a problem.
I'm
People
sorry.
just go, what is this like?
Exactly.
I don't
And
know,
that's
it's not heavy enough. It's not like it's too heavy. I don't know what's going on.
no, and you sent me Crux too, and I played Crux with Nick. That's why I didn't play that one. But that's literally when I heard I heard Crux.
We picked the same song. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah. But that fucked me up, dude, because of the ending, and I played it because I was like, this is the first time I heard Nick on vocal. I mean, of course he has his little parts here, but he really but just the end of that fucking song is so heavy, and it's so like, that was the heaviest shit I had heard from you guys at that point. And I was like, boom, like sold, fucking signed, sealed, delivered. Like,
I love to hear that because like we were at a point where we were like thinking about cutting that.
no,
And, like,
how dare you?
exactly. Like all right, it was just a nice clean song, and then like we heard like the full like demo that we did, which was just like, I don't know. We had like 4 or 5 or 6 demos in different structures, and this was the final one.
Yeah.
And like we heard that version, just like the rough demo, a couple of mics in the room. And I was like, oh, this is it. Like, don't change it. Like, let's not. Just this is it. It's done.
Yeah.
That's when we were working with Machine.
Yeah. How did Mark and Machine? Did Mark have any input in that, or no, or just Machine? Like, how did?
Oh yeah, I mean, basically, it was like when we were working with Mark Morton from Lamb of God, and Machine, the producer, Eugene, the Machine.
Eugene the Machine.
Yeah, for that song in particular, like it was basically like the version that we gave them was really not finished. It was like the whole ending was done. Like the
Okay.
That was done.
Okay.
That was already good.
Okay.
And then like the whole beginning was like there was a bunch of other riffs and a bunch of other stuff that we hadn't finished, or at least finished as a group, and like we just ended up making it like soft, like intro verse chorus type of thing.
Yeah.
It was like a heavy riff in there a little bit, and then dipped out. We deleted that, and then we just made the chorus just the progression of the verse.
So it started with the last part. You guys already had the ending down.
Yeah, that was already done.
Wow,
like, that never
that's okay. That kind of blows my mind a little bit.
Yeah, so that whole ending.
I might need to cut this out because that's a little too much secrets you're giving away. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm being silly. I'm just saying because when I heard that song, dude, like when that album came out, I got it right. That fucking Friday it came out. I listened to the whole thing, and that song, like just the ending, just like I was like, fuck, like they went hard, And
Actually,
then, go ahead.
Sorry. Sorry, I'm feeling.
No. Go ahead.
Funny story about that, because we were releasing that on Bandcamp, and we were in, I think, Kentucky, and we forgot about the time change.
Okay.
We were like, all right, it's going to come out at midnight.
Yeah.
We're all good to go. We're like having beers and like, oh, let's do a shot. Like it's a great, it's an awesome atmosphere. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
We're like, oh shit. There's a 2-hour time change. And we released it at 2 a.m. Eastern. Like it was 2 hours too late.
That's funny.
Because we're all hanging out and just like people are like, we're like watching the Moontooth email. This is before he got signed to Pure Noise, and people are like, "Hey, man! Like, I thought we were gonna get the record at midnight. Like, what's going on?" And we're like, "Oh my god!"
Oops. Oops. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. Sorry.
But literally, dude, that song, because Chroma, like when I heard Chroma, it was kind of weird to me at first, but it was just.
Oh, dude, it's very weird. It's still weird to me.
and even John's voice, the first thing that attracted me was Nick and his guitar playing because I'm a guitarist. But then and your drums, because I love rhythm and I love drums. John's voice was the hardest part for me to kind of latch onto.
Yeah.
Just whatever. That's just I got scientist brain, so I pick everything apart. But then once I started getting it, and then Crux came out, then I was like, oh shit, like you guys kind of, you refine, you kind of like soften not soften, but just kind of rolled out the edges and made it a little, was that intentional? Like,
yeah, it was. I mean,
a little more direct, I would say, more direct approach.
Yeah, I mean, the story I wanted to tell when you were like in the middle of that sentence was when we did Chrome Paragon.
Yeah,
the vocals were like out there,
okay,
and very artistic and
sure,
awesome,
sure.
But
Lord of the Rings kind of.
Exactly. But me and Nick wrote all those songs, and we just said, "Hey, John, write something to this,"
sure.
Which is crazy,
sure,
because it's like the stuff that we did with that record with Chroma Paragon, like there's really not a lot of space for vocals that make sense.
Sure.
So that's why like it's just like it was almost impossible, which I was very happy with what John came up with. And I still to this day, like I can't believe that he did that because like we gave him no option basically. Yeah. We're like, all right, cool, here it is, figure it out.
Sure.
And with Crux, we worked together, and
he
was like, "Hey, I could use like 2 bars here,
yeah,
like a little bit more of a standard chord progression or something."
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So we ended up doing that
a little more simple here, not so complicated.
Yeah, so it's like we squeeze the complicated parts in like really cool sections, I guess, and then just like a verse or a chorus, like some nice chord progressions.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Chrome Paragon, he's a madman. Like the fact that he just
filled in,
he actually filled in that and like wrote vocals to that, like that was insane.
Yeah.
I would have like I listened back to some of those songs and I would have nothing. Yeah. I would have like nothing to write. Like if I as a vocalist,
sure,
just to kind of like rip through those songs, but because we've definitely gotten the bounce back of people being like, "Yeah, I don't really like the vocals," but it's like we didn't really give him a chance to write vocals
to shine. Yeah. Well, John's a bad motherfucker. You guys are all bad motherfuckers.
He's actually,
and that's great, and that's great, and that's why I'm saying like. It was hard. It wasn't hard, but it was just different for me at first. And I was kind of like, okay, I get all the groove. I get all the riffs. I get that. But John's vocals, so maybe that's why. But then once Crux came out and I heard like Trust and Omega Days, and I was just like, but then when I heard Crux, I was like, fuck, okay, now you guys just hit me like in the chest. You guys kicked me in the chest. And it was Nick. It was Nick fucking just growled. And I was like, this is what I want to hear, bro. Like it was great. It was fucking great, dude. Great. You guys are doing a great job, just so you know.
We got more shit coming.
Excellent. Okay, so last song I'm going to play one more. Let's play the N Rose so we can hear some Westfall represent. Let's represent Westfall a little bit right here. This is N Rose Therapy. What you want to say? Anything? All right, let's go.
I mean, I love this.
I'm getting therapy 'cause I am seeing things. Only myself to blame. The wheels are turning the wrong way. Feel like I'm over that hill, but falling at the same time. Falling at the same time. Fine, I'll try to act chill, but have you
Does she actually play the saxophone? Is that what you said?
Oh yeah, baby.
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy. That's cool. Respect. So there you go. That's the spectrum of westfallrecordings.com. Is it .com?
Yeah, I think so.
Book now. Westfall at Westfall Recordings on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
Book some time.
Yep, the Insta.
Pop or metal or rock or folk. I think they're gonna start doing bluegrass bands. So get in on it. Let's go.
Dude, I love bluegrass. Like some nasty.
You like country? Let me ask you this: you like country?
Yeah, I mean, like the same answer that every musician has, like good country, like sick bluegrass, like bluegrass.
Bluegrass. I like bluegrass. Oh wait, no.
A bluegrass player.
I like that bluegrass.
Bluegrass player, like awesome banjo player, somebody that has like slide guitar with the action on the guitar, super
high.
Yeah, exactly.
Cheese,
like
cheese slicer, fucking.
Those dudes, they're just nasty at it.
Yeah,
like those country players. And
you ever heard any new? Have you heard any new artists like that are out now, like new bluegrass or like country?
Hey, it's
bro,
like not really my scene, but
listen to my mixes, dude. I'm telling you, I'm gonna send you. I'm finding new artists.
Me, please.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I find. So my thing, what I do with my mixes is I find artists that are all out now, within the last like 4 years, and I'm finding reggae artists that are doing like rock steady and ska, but like now.
Yes.
And bluegrass and country now, and like I have my certain styles that I gravitate towards, and even like R&B and soul, like the oldies, like the lowrider cruising oldies. But now everybody now within the last like 4 years. So that's what all my mixes are. And then metal and you guys and so that's the shit I like. So that's what I'm going to put out there. But my thing is I'm trying to make it all recent. I could easily make a playlist of fucking Metallica and fucking Pantera or fucking Rick James.
Yeah,
and
we don't want that.
Kool and the Gang or I've done all that. I've been a record DJ. I've done that shit. I'm trying to make it a little more interesting that all artists that are doing shit now. So I'm trying to find new artists. It's harder than you think, but the algorithms are nice now. So cool, man. Well, thank you for coming on.
Giano going on right now.
We got the outs. This is the outs. The outro.
I forgot about it. Sorry.
It's all good. Thank you for coming on.
No problem, brother.
Thank you for spending some time with me. It was fucking cool, man. It was great connecting with you.
Whenever you want to spend time, brother.
That's right.
We got this. Just right. I'm going to spit a verse.
Go, hit it.
Actually, no, I'm not going to spit this verse because
I'm just going to spit.
I can't.
Spit.
We can't.
A verse.
Baby boy. My baby boy. My sister's nephew. Actually, it's my nephew.
Hello.
I can't really spit verses. But how you doing? I'm from Long Island. We say how you doing. The only thing we want to know is how you doing? How you doing?
We get bagels and chill. What you know about that?
Yeah, it's really just bacon, egg, and cheese on the spot.
Scoop it out. Scoop it out.
No scoops? Fuck you. I'm not doing a scoop. No scooping around here. All right. Before I embarrass myself any further.
That's all good. That was beautiful. Ray, I fucking love you, dude. Thank you, man.
Love you too, man.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you for spending your time with me. So, where can they find you? On Instagram, wherever the fuck. Put it out there.
My name on Instagram is pretty simple. It's Ray Marte, Moontooth Westfall. It's my name, studio, and band. Not really too exciting, but
find
that's my Instagram name.
Find them where you can. Book at Westfall Recordings. Get down. Let's go.
Yeah,
all right. Well, thank you to anyone out there listening, to anyone paying attention. This is your Blue Dreamer broadcast. Until next time, much love and respect. Peace.